Okay, I want to do an experiment here. I'm driving at 53 miles an hour and the speed limit's 50. I do have the cruise set. I'm going to reset this. I'm driving, so I'll probably have to put the phone down to reset that. I'm getting ready to go up a hill. It's a fairly long grade, probably around a mile or close to it. I want to see how much energy it takes to go up the hill, and then I'm going to turn right back around and see. I'm going to go back down the hill and see what I get back going down the hill, or if there's any way to calculate that. So I'm almost ready to start climbing the hill, and I want to be fair about this, so I want to reset that as late as possible. You can see here speed limit's going to go up to 55, but I'm going to keep the cruise set on 53. And you can see right up here, I'm going to reset everything as soon as I cross the bridge. I can leave that there and press reset. So I'm reaching over to press reset. Okay, I just cleared it. Right there it is. You can see it went to 0. So there's our starting parameters. We are at 61% with 210 miles. We can watch that go up as we go up this hill. Cruise holding steady right at 53. So we've traveled 0.6 miles since I reset it. Should be a pretty good test here. Still going up the hill. I've dropped to 60%. 0.7 miles. Used 0.9 kilowatts. Used 1 kilowatt. Still going up. We've traveled 1.1 miles. 60%. Estimating 199 miles of range. And of course, you know, going up this hill here is going to throw everything off a little bit. But the ocean's not going to know where this hill ends. I don't think it's that smart yet. So 1.4 miles. Got the most steady cruise I think I've ever seen in a vehicle. It just hardly ever fluctuates at all. When you go up a hill, it will usually speed up 1 mile per hour, and then it will adjust and plop right back down. So we've traveled 1.8 miles. My ears are popping. Used 2 kilowatt hours, and we're almost ready to crest the hill. I'm gonna tap the brakes to knock the cruise off right here. Okay, so we traveled 2 miles, and I'm actually gonna pull over and turn around and redo this test. I want to go back down it. Okay, let's get a good grasp of our parameters here. Since I reset it, we drove 2.2 miles and we used 2.2 kilowatt hours of energy. And we dropped to 59% at 192 miles. Now, if you can see where I am, I'm going to need to climb that. And as soon as I climb that, I'm going to set the cruise. No, I'm not going to set the cruise. I've got it in its lowest regen, and I'm going to modulate it with the brake. Yep, I think that's the best way to do it. So as soon as I get back up here, I am going to reset everything. I'm going to try to keep my speed roughly, I think, about 50 miles per hour going down this hill. So I'm going to hold this here, and I'm going to reset this. Just reset it, just cross the hill. Okay. Now it is in the lowest regen setting, and I'm actually going to modulate the regen with the brake. Okay, we are at 59% and 189 miles. So let's see how we do here. %, 190 miles. Now let's go back down and let's watch the kilowatt hours. Now that 0.1 is where I sped up to get right back on this. I am curious if it counts down. I don't think it does. I wanted to know how it calculates banked kilowatt hours, because when we're going down this hill, of course, we're putting energy back into the battery. So I still haven't put my foot on the accelerator, still haven't put my foot on the brake. If I get over 50 miles per hour, I'm going to modulate my speed with the brake pedal. Still shouldn't be using friction brakes though. I should simply be using the regen. This is a test I've been wanting to do actually for a long time, because I was curious how the Ocean handled kilowatt hours. You know, counting up and counting down and banking them. I was very curious about that. So, okay. So check that out. We just went up to 60% on the battery. So what it's doing is, it's pretty obvious what it's doing here. It's actually counting, when it puts energy back into the battery, it gives you back the percentage up here. But it does not count down or bank anything over here. So that's actually very useful to know for anybody that wants to track their usage. So, you know, we've gone down this hill. It's just showing the 0.1 kilowatt hours that I used to initially start this to go down the hill. And it's actually taken the battery up 1%, and I am on the lowest regen, so I'm just letting it cruise, letting it do its thing. That's pretty cool. For me, that's actually useful information, because I love this kind of stuff. Okay, I'm starting to slow down here, so I'm actually going to start giving some acceleration. So you can see we're back to 2.1 miles, and you know, that's what we drove up the hill, and of course that's what we drove back down the hill. And it basically put 1 kilowatt hour back into the battery. But the only way to know that is to know the percentage here. So that's actually useful information that everybody should be able to use. And one other thing I want to show you here. Check out my, well, can you see that? I'm actually going to flip this around. Can you see my back window back there? Totally covered. I'll turn this back around, and I'm actually going to put it on the digital rear view camera, and nothing's been washed, nothing's been cleaned, and you can see that I can see out the back there. So that digital rear view camera is super helpful. Alright, I'm going to stop this and turn around. I think that was an excellent test. I love stuff like this. Pretty useful information. Okay, so now we're back up to 198 miles of estimated range. And you can see it stayed at 0.1 because I basically just coasted in here. I didn't have to use hardly any energy. And for the record, I did have everything off. I wasn't ever using any heated seats, or you can see the climates off and stuff like that. So pretty useful video. When I get home, I'll upload this and have a little fun with it. Pretty cool stuff. All right, I'm going to attach this to the end of my video. I just want you guys to know what conditions I was driving in. I left the house and it was mid-30s. I think it was 34 or 35 degrees. It has warmed up a little bit, but I was mostly blasting the heater at 85, and I used the heated seats. the whole time because I got a bad back. I usually keep the heated seats on 24/7, and my speeds were mostly between 45 to 60, generally speaking. There were places I did need to drive slower than that. Here's what the back of the car looks like, and you can see that digital rearview camera. It just never seems to get dirty. I mean, not enough to be able to not use it. And you can see how dirty my car is here. You can see the ice falling off of it. And I'm going to open it up here and actually give you the metrics on what my last drive was, so you can see. Of course, electric vehicles are going to get worse range in the winter. Everybody should understand that. But let's look at my metrics here. I drove, let's just say 120 miles. I averaged 0.4 kilowatt hours, and I used 51.5 kilowatt hours. Yeah, I said that right, 51.5. So those are my metrics, and that was my last round of metrics. So generally speaking, I think in the winter time, you know, you're going to use between 0.4 to 0.5 kilowatt hours per mile. You can definitely use more than that if you're running in, say, now I drove mostly in earth mode, but now, you know, if you drive in fun or you drive in hyper, it does make the climate work a lot harder, and of course you're engaging the rear electric motor, so you are going to use more energy in those modes. So if you want the most efficient, earth is by far the most efficient. I've done this enough to know. So hope you enjoyed my videos, and until next time.